So yeah, as I promised to my friends on Snap, I'm gonna try and make a YouTube channel. Like this is gonna be like my first official video, and of course, if I get some views on here, of course, I'm gonna try to record more. And yeah, my channel, if I do get views, I want to be more like Premier League and football based content, And I think I have like being a Chelsea fan, as you can see, I analyze a lot of their games, also like other games mostly like like Arsenal, like Manchester City, even West Ham, to be honest. But yeah, I think it'd be a great help. But of course, let's talk about the David Luiz transfer, which I was really surprised, and to be honest, like I had no idea like that this will happen. My initial reaction, I I mean, I wasn't like mad because like I probably knew like maybe in a year or two like he was probably gonna leave. He probably won't like you know compete as well. Like in the Premier League. Because I mean, fourth choice center back. Um, yeah, I mean it's interesting. I mean, I can understand the reason why he left. Like probably he wasn't gonna get first team minutes. And of course like someone of his quality. Like he kind of deserves to start like most games. And if I can put one real positive on this real quick, I think it's gonna help Andreas Christensen a lot, because he is finally, if he does get, if he does start to get Man United in the other games, he's gonna finally get for the first season of his career as a Chelsea player, get some regular football, and that's really amazing to be honest. Like I think I think he has a lot of potential. I always rated him very high. Yeah, I heard about the rumors of him leaving like last summer, but of course I'm very glad that didn't happen. And yeah, he can stay as long as a Chelsea player, and I really respect that. And yeah, I think for me, yeah, Christensen would be a very good player, so I have no problem with that. I do want him to start like at some point, because I don't want to waste his potential anymore. And yeah, yeah, there was just a lot of negatives on this trade. Like, I feel like David Luiz shouldn't have left this summer. If it was like next year, 2 years from now, of course I would totally understand. Would have been the right choice since we're in this transfer ban, and now we only have like four center backs, and not really. I mean, Rudiger, is a star player, but like other than that, like the other two, Zuma, and Christiansen, they're not like top 10, center backs, and yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Like I said, as a top six side, as a team that that willing to compete for anything, like has a very strong team, and yeah, I mean, I do want, I mean, I think since David Luiz got transferred, now that Tomori is at Chelsea and probably gonna play like the FA Cup games, the FL Cup games, I have no problem with that at all. I think that's really good. So yeah, I'm not complaining about like Christensen and Tomori, but I'm very disappointed in David Luiz. I'm not mad at him for leaving. Like I totally understand the reason. Some of his quality, like he should deserve, start more games, and yeah. But the way he did this, like, and yeah, just very disappointing. He always been a humble guy. I watched him in interviews with other like Chelsea fans. Like at the George Benson. He loved this club, as he said. Like, he was willing to work with Frank Lampard. He think it was a great coach, and yeah, he really made it I can't pronounce his name. Makes him Mount a lot. So yeah, but I mean, it's kind of really hard to like know like the insight details. Probably like even like Frank Lampard told him like he wasn't gonna play as much as he regularly did, and probably that's why like David Luiz forced his way in Arsenal. I mean, you already have Mustafi. Um, I mean, Socrates can be okay, but I mean, as Arsenal, like for Arsenal fans, I don't want, really like this ain't gonna be like the best upgrade, like for me, of course, like David Luiz can be really great as a defender, but in the side tracks, as Mustafi, like I definitely think he's better than Mustafi, but they kind of have a bit of the same weaknesses, as they come to like, being careless on the ball sometimes, just making that prone decisions at like that one moment, of the game that really matters. They might make that decision. Of course, um, it'd be really funny Mustafi David Luiz start. I think, yeah, I think it's gonna be crazy, but yeah, I'm just very disappointed for David Luiz. Like he promised that he was, he loved this club, but really, I mean, and I want to talk to like I can't pronounce his name. Oh, okay, DT real quick. Yeah, I want to tell him something. I think he's a prick, and I'll tell you why. You know, he said that we shouldn't be moaning about like David Luiz leaving. Like, I mean, really? I mean, y'all moan when your captain Lauren Koscielny, went on strike. Like I mean, I couldn't understand the reason too. Y'all didn't have like any other center back options, like any other, good ones other than probably Colin Chambers. But you should never tell us to not, use our voice, use our feelings, for a football player, especially someone like David Luiz, who has stick through Chelsea during two periods and through many years of his career. So I think he should understand like the culture of another club. I think he's too biased, but yeah, um, he should totally just shut up about that. In my opinion, he should worry about their problems, Arsenal problems, and I should worry about my problems, Chelsea problems. Of course, like I'm not frustrated at all, but like still I'm a bit salty. I totally understand, but yeah, we definitely deserve to mow someone like David Lou, who was a true leader. Throughout like sometimes like as he said throughout the Conte season, he proved himself to be like one of the best in the Premier League during that season, and yeah, I mean, I don't like. Okay, another thing he said was like, Chelsea wasn't gonna beat Arsenal. Like, really? I mean, like we lost Hazard, we lost David Luiz, but we're not deeply affected. You're just not that much better with all of that. New additions. Like, I mean, I know Tierney. He's a really great signing. I haven't watched him to be honest in Celtic, but he's highly rated, of course. At the offense. He can play both defense and offense very well. But I mean, he did play in the Scottish league, so I mean, and when he did play in the Champions League, it wasn't like like 5-star performances. So of course, there's gonna be like yeah. I mean, I don't think he's gonna do incredible, but yeah. Who else? Yeah, I know Pepe is gonna do really good hours, and I really believe that. I don't know about Ceballos. Yeah, I mean, like know not a lot about him, but yeah, I mean Arsenal. Right now they're not much of a bigger club as they expect. From Chelsea. I mean, I think Arsenal has a bit more qualities above, but I don't think it's like far far and beyond. So I mean, I think DT should realize that Chelsea is still a very strong team. We still have Callum Hudson-Odoi. When he's coming back healthy. We brought in Kovacic. When he was previously on loan last season, and we still have Rudiger. We still have Aspilicueta, Kepa. Conte, of course, you can't forget about him. And Giroud, of course, one of your ex-players, someone who finally won a good trophy, a major trophy last season. So yeah, I mean, I think if Arsenal Chelsea did play, I don't think like like I don't think it's gonna be like a score that like okay, if Arsenal does win, it's not gonna be like the biggest score, as Arsenal fans predicted, So yeah, I mean, and Tammy Abraham, of course, like, he did really good. He scored like 20 plus season in the championship last season. So, of course, I rate him too. I think, he's not no screw up. He's not like Danny Ings or a Sturridge or Welbeck. I think he actually has like, quality potential. And I mean, Arsenal fans should realize that, we're not challenging for like probably a lot this season since like we're in the transfer ban. So I think our main objectives just to focus on like, just getting top six, and also developing all these young players, like Christiansen, Hudson Odoi, Abraham, Mount Tamori, they really have a lot of potential. And, I do want to watch them, like throughout their weaknesses and, just, I know they're going to improve a lot, but yeah, 8 million was the price for David Luiz. Yeah, let's go back to the story. 8 million. I mean, it's a bit low, I mean, understand he's 32, he's probably gonna have played at least 3 more years. Yeah, probably gonna got like 3 more years left of, his football qualities. But in as someone arrival to Arsenal, like 8 million is a bit too short. I was thinking like probably 15 at the most. Probably 15 to 20 million. Um, yeah, I think that would have been really good. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm just very disappointed in David Luiz. Just seeing them wear the Arsenal shirt. Just kind of, feels different. But yeah, I think this semester we won't be like deeply affected. Because we still have Zuma, we still have great quality center backs. It just depends, like, how developed, they're gonna be throughout the season. You know, like of course for me, I would have preferred David Luiz, starting the game against Manchester United this Sunday, because it's a very big game. He knows how to perform in those big games, and yeah, I mean, just very sad. It's like, and when I first heard the rumors, like on Thursday, I mean, and I saw like he was forcing away, he wasn't part of the trade, and it was like, I mean, I don't want to believe it, but like, I mean, it's not something that the Louis have done before, like not in the same situation, but like the way he moved to PSG, like, was a big money move. He was tempted, by like, just the objectives, of their quality, their teams, their team quality, and yeah, and I also remember when he scored against us, cause yeah, so for me, he's not a Chelsea legend at all, but he's a very respected player. He's spent many years throughout this club, this great club, and yeah, um, going to Arsenal. I mean, I can understand why he probably gonna start anyways, like as soon as possible. Probably gonna be him and like Socrates, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just very crazy yesterday at the transfer window, and of course, yeah, it's just very disappointing. But yeah, BT should like shut his mouth a bit more, because I think he got the wrong perception, of Chelsea, as Chelsea fans, I mean, okay, so yeah, but yeah, now we gotta focus on, our first season with Frank Lampard, that's all that matters, and yeah, if we still kept Sorry, Marty so sorry, we probably would have, had David Luiz starting most games, but not with him. Like, I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a trend, like probably like the January window, probably Pedro, William, Marcos Alonso, they probably might leave too, because like now they're gonna put a lot of faith in Hudson Odoi and Pulisic, and it's gonna be very, very hard for both of them, to be honest, if they do like be in the bench, and of course like Emerson, I can't pronounce names, Emerson, he's probably gonna start soon over Marcos Alonso, so yeah, mm, I mean, these are moves that would take like next year. I would say next year would be like the best decision. But yeah, um yeah, I'm not gonna talk any more about this. I'm just very disappointed. Like I mean it's gonna be an upgrade at Arsenal, but really not a lot. It's like your defense is still not really the best. Like, and they have Tierney, which of course I haven't watched him yet, but I know he's very good. And when whenever Hector Bellerin's back, of course he's gonna be very good. But it's gonna be that center back partnership, Socrates or Mustafi or David Luiz, or Chambers. Um, it's not gonna be like the best duo. So of course like I think probably gonna some teams gonna like try their best, like since they're kind of like like going to their older ages, like a team that's like younger and a lot faster, like Bournemouth might go through them like through their defense. But yeah, we see how this season goes, and yeah, good riddance to David Luiz. I think you know for a second spell, he did really good. I mean, I'm not gonna complain as much, but I mean, just so disappointing for him, just forcing, like through the rivals after he promised that he loved this club. It's like player power is a little crazy, Like you talking about Griezmann not training, and you talking about Koscielny not going to the U.S. tour. Now we have this. I mean, at least David Luiz, he trained. He wanted to prove himself in the preseason, that he can start. But I guess Lampard never saw that, after the Salzburg game. He probably like promised that like he probably promised to like Zuma or like yeah Zuma Christensen that they're gonna start most of the games now, which I'm not mad about. It's not about like I'm not mad about them. It's just the way that David Luiz left. And I mean, I think he should have been a great bench player in my opinion. I think I would I would have still liked being the bench because going to Arsenal. I mean, you're going to Europa League. It's like it's kind of hard to predict. Probably gonna finish fourth or fifth, but still, y'all ain't gonna win any trophies. Probably. I mean, I don't want to hope so, but I mean, it's the Europa League. He did win the last year, so I don't really care if we win it this year again. But yeah, let's just see how Chelsea does in the Champions League, and yeah, I'll be very happy with Christensen starting against Manchester United, and